Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. I just realized in this camera view you can see my phone taking video on my desk. Well, I suppose there's nothing wrong with letting you see that because that's life. That's the reality of life. I use all the devices. I use as many devices as I can to get as good of a picture to share later as possible. So today is day 16th of the Earth Month Repurposed Art Challenge, and I am so glad that you're here for me with this. So today it's Smartweed. Where's my little Smartweed? Here he is. Smartweed. It's such an unassuming little flower, and I have to say that for eons I did treat it as a nasty weed. I would get it in my garden all the time, wherever I lived. It would just pop up and I would be yanking it out. Well, I have been trying to redeem myself. I haven't been yanking it out for the last 3 years, something like that, because my flower beds, I don't have the greenest thumb in the world. My flower beds are not overflowing with flowers. So Smartweed just adds some greenery and a tiny bits of purple color. And I really enjoy that. So I think today, because it's such a tiny, delicate little flower, I'm going to go with plastic mesh and more plastic mesh for the flower. So I'm actually going to put on my glasses and let you see the weird reflection in my eyeballs, no matter what. That's not I can do about that. I'm just going to use embroidery floss, which I will try to not tangle. And I'm going to stretch this large size green mesh. I don't even know what it came from. Avocados? Maybe, I don't know. I just found it in my bin of plastic mesh. So I think I'm going to stretch it on as much as I can onto my lid, and then use this purple smaller mesh and smoosh it on. That's a very technical term. Smoosh, 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 something like that. And that'll be the flowers. So I'm looking at the plastic mesh. I think I want to stretch it sort of like, I don't want to cut off the pieces of it yet because I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. So I'm going to push through the edge of the lid and try to secure with just one stitch one little piece of mesh at a time and see what that gets me. This is a total experiment. I've certainly stretched plastic mesh before and stitched it down, but not on a plastic lid, on a flat surface. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen here, and I'm gonna get tangled. That is just how it is. I wonder if doubling it up might be the way to go. So I have it just secured in two little spots. Just wondering whether I should double it up and see what happens. Yeah, all right, so I'm going to secure it in a few more spots up here. Just pushing up through the lid. Good thing I have a metal thimble. And I want to make sure to grab it so I can always trim off the excess later. But I think I might need to double it to achieve a more grass-like effect, so to speak. So let's see, I'm securing that here. I think I'll secure a couple of more. And see what happens. I hope the weather is just fine where you are. We're having a heat wave in New York, and the air conditioning is not installed yet. Luckily today is a little bit less humid, and I've got the window open behind me, so I'm at least getting some airflow in here. But yes, if you see me break in a sweat, it's because of the weather. Oh, or because I'm tangling my thread horribly. Okay, I'm going to secure another one and then tie it off and secure it from the other side, because I am not sure that I need to secure more, and I may be cutting plenty off, so let's see what happens. All right, so this is the trick of securing inside the lid. I'm taking a stitch under another stitch, pulling most of my thread through, and then just going through the loop and tying it off. That should work. All right, so let's see. I'm going to tie off my knot, and good thing is see-through, so you can see it as I'm looking at it. I think I'm going to use this natural bend that's here. And should I bend it this way too? Oh, maybe I will do that. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It's an interesting kind of texture. I think I like that. All right, so it's not going to cover the whole lid, which is what I initially thought I would do. I think I'm actually going to use a pin to hold this at least a little bit in place. Yeah. So it's sort of just being held in place. Do I even want to fold this up again? Ooh, I think I do. I love when sometimes experiments work out and something is happening. So I'm folding this, I folded it in on itself from both sides, but now I'm folding it up. Ooh, and I'm making it much more 3D. Okay, I'll take the pin out of there later. I'm gonna use another pin to pin this in place temporarily. So I'm kind of liking this. Okay, so now I need to, all right, I'm going to stitch down here first. And I'm kind of doing it through the bottom, the lip of the lid. Okay, this is a total experiment, but I think it's going to work very interestingly, so I'm kind of excited about it. I'm even going to go over the lip. It looks really cool. And I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. I'll show you in a second. I love when exciting things happen when you're doing it. So it's very, very 3D, and I think I might even let it be that 3D. We'll see. Let me finish stitching down more of it before I make a decision of just how much of it I'm going to let stick out. I can always tack on other sections better later, but I do want it to be on securely. I'm going to loop around as well, maybe push through the same hole and squish things in, because why not, right? I can do whatever I want. It's my experiment, my silly plastic experiment. Okay, yes, I'm going to take this, stitch another stitch through here. Okay, do I want to tack it on here? I think I do. I think I'm going to now take some stitches right through the middle of the lid. It's just going to take, because I'm using green thread, it's just going to give an effect of more grassy stems in the background, which is totally, totally fine. Do I want this to be stitched on like this. I think I want it right here. Okay, so this is going to be through the rim. And you know how I'm talking through this as I'm doing this, because I'm talking about it to you. I have to say that a lot of times when I work without even taking a video, I'm still talking to myself in the same way. And yeah, talking myself through whatever it is that I am doing. Okay, so I think most of this is secure. I'm going to take these pins away. Now the question is, you see how much I have coming off this large section. I think I need to tame it down just a tiny bit. I'm going to take a stitch under here, like that. I just want to make sure it's not going anywhere. And I'll stitch it down here. So okay, and I think one more stitch down here. Oh, I'm liking this abstraction here. I actually, I have to be honest, I came here and I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. But that's how ideas come. All of a sudden, you have an idea of how this is going to work, and it's working. Okay, so there's my grassy part. Now for the flowery part. Well, first I need to tie off my thread here. So taking another stitch under a stitch and trying to keep it tight and not tangled. That's the key, not to get it too tangled. Okay, so my idea was to take little portions of this purpley stuff and sort of bunch it on, couch it on in a few spots to give the idea of these little bumpy strands that Smartweed has. So, and you know I like to work in odd numbers, so I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 5. Maybe I'll add another one afterwards, but for now I'll cut 5 little strips. Now I also need some purple thread, and I have some lavender thread. That will work fine, I think. Yeah, that will work nicely. Okay. So, some lavender thread. I'm going to have to do quite the cleanup here after Earth Month is over. I've just been pulling out supplies and putting them out here and hoping things are not overwhelming here. Well, they are kind of overwhelming. Open bins, pulled out supplies, and just enough of a path for me to walk by. But that's just how it is. Okay, so I have my thread ready, and I don't really know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm just gonna do it. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to couch it on. I'll take one stitch that's sort of through it, and then the rest I'm just going to twine around. I don't know, I might have cut the thread a little too long to pull this off, but enough to tangle it. Can I do this? How many times will I have to wind this through without tangling? Oh, okay, it's sort of coming. I might need to do bigger pieces. Oh, it's not where I want you to be. That's the problem with stitching with some of this plastic mesh is it's easy to get tangled in the pieces on the side. They're so grabby, shall we say. There's a very technical terms. I'm just filled with technical terms today. Grabby, wonky. I don't even remember what other technical term I used earlier today. Descriptive. We'll call them descriptive. So I am stitching my Smartweed, which is the plant of the day in the Earth Month, flower of the day, I should say, in the Earth Month Repurposed Art Challenge. Okay. All right, here's my first attempt at a little Smartweed blossom. They're so teeny tiny. All right. It sort of worked. I shall continue. See if I sort of spread them out and see what happens. I'll put this one on the inside here. And I'm sort of just smushing it together and couching on. This time I will take my first stitch through the lid, and then the rest I'll just couch on and see what happens. It's a very tangly situation. Oh well. What we do for art, right? What kind of messes do we get into in order to do the artwork that we dream about? Willingness to experiment, that's the main thing. Willingness to fail and just do it all imperfectly. Perfection is overrated as far as I'm concerned. It is so overrated, so I'm just winging it as usual. As usual when it comes to these experiments. But the more experiments you make, the more you learn, and after a while, you are an expert at the material you were just experimenting with, and things are working out. And I'm not quite there yet. I would consider myself an expert with combining flat stitched mesh into layers and shadings and stuff, but not in this 3D effect. I know there's tons of artists who work with this regularly in the 3D realm and do amazing work. I am just starting to play with it for myself. Okay. This is sort of a tangled mess, but I think it works. All right, flower number 2. Smartweed. I don't know. Now I'm a little unsure if my experiment is going to work, but we shall see. So I'm going to stitch it onto here now. I'm just going to see if I can tangle the needle through a bunch of times and then poke it through the knotted area and see if that will secure things. Yeah, okay, that's working. All right, now I'm just winding the needle. I think I'm going to fold this back on itself and just make a bunch of knots and see how that holds up. And try not to tangle myself. Well, it's not super pretty, but it seems to be working. Kind of even liking the loose threads that are happening here. And yeah, I can't hold it at the same time and stitch. I need to kind of rest it on the table in order to work the way I think I want it to work. Okay, so I got 3. I think it's giving the effect. Yeah. So I'm going to do well, definitely going to do 2 more. And then I'll see if I want to add more or make them bulkier or something like that. I'm going to use this slightly bigger one and fold it on itself. I'm going to go down here. And yes, I'll take a stitch from the bottom because I'm working so close, not so much in the 3D space here. So that way at least I know it's secure there. And then I'm just going to wind the thread around the purpley part and see what happens. Yeah, these are fun. These are fun. I love Earth Month. It's the most time I give to myself to experiment during the year because I have a lot of commitments, obligations, whatever you want to call. So I don't always have time to experiment like I did when I was starting out more. But for Earth Month, I get to do that much more often. Okay, the 4th one is on, and I think it's working. So the question is, where do I want to put my 5th one? Do I want to put it here? Do I want to put it down here? Yeah, I think it feels like it needs to be up higher. So I'm going to couch it onto this over here. I'm going to sort of try to take a stitch through the thicker parts of the purpley plastic. It doesn't want to work, so I need to take a stitch through the knot here on my thread. I think that would be the way to secure it, if I can do it. Okay, I think I just did it. This is all very wiggly and moving. Oh, I secured the thread, but I did not secure the plastic. Okay, take another try. Okay, I think this is working. This is working. I think the key here was for me to have a thread that was a similar color, so it all kind of blends in and actually gives it a little more oomph and texture because there's a little more color changes in there because the thread is not exactly the same color as the plastic. Let's see. Okay, is that going to be secure enough? Yes, that feels secure enough. All right, here's my Smartweed. Totally experimental, but it's such a delicate little weed with a few tiny purpley windy things for blossoms. I'm actually even rubbing them with my fingers to sort of mess them up a little bit and have them blend in together. I like it. I am pretty pleased with my Smartweed. So I cannot wait to see what kind of a Smartweed you come up with in your challenge. And please don't forget to tag me and share with me. I can't wait to see your Smartweed. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.